Hi everyone. So it's day 6 of the reset, Saturday, and this is the time when it's a really good idea to just sort of do a quick revision together of the actual rules of the reset, because lots of strange psychological stuff might be going on. If you've stumbled across this video on YouTube and you don't know what we're talking about here, then there's a link in the video notes below. So just jump over there, jump to my website, and you'll find out all about what this Detox and Reset program is all about. And I encourage you to do it because, the results for your health and well-being can be quite dramatic in even less than 30 days. People feel the difference. So for those of you who are doing the reset and you've got this far, it is possible that the body brain is starting to go into a bit of chaos. You might be finding that you're sort of trying to find ways to consume the foods that we want to be avoiding during this month. You might be sort of thinking, a little bit of sugar or a little bit of honey in a little bit of sugar in my coffee or a little bit of honey in my tea isn't going to hurt, or the alcohol in cooking disappears, so that's okay. Or you might be thinking that the kids or my own inner child need a little sweet treat. All of these are symptoms, all of these are sort of like signs and symptoms of physical and chemical dependence on sugars and carbohydrates in one form or another, right? And they're also signs that the unconscious, the subconscious, is resisting change, right? So please be strong, be determined. You can confront this challenge. We're here for you. I'm here for you. And so together, let's go and review the rules of the reset, okay? And just remember as well that all of the reasons behind the recommendations will become clear. Trust in the process as we go through this day by day. Everything will be explained, and that way you'll be more committed to the program. Okay, so the five elements of the Paleo Reset 31 are eat, move, sleep, connect, and be smart. Okay, so all of these elements work together synergistically, right? They're like the legs of a stool. I like to think of it in terms of like the legs of a three-legged stool. If you cut one leg off, the stool falls over, doesn't it? So we want to do our best to nurture all areas all at the same time. Having said that, because the nutritional aspect of the Paleo Reset 31 is so important, it's divided into 6 sections, okay? Yes food, no food, eat breakfast, tubers, coffee and tea, sweets and treats, and alcohol. So we'll go through these points one by one. Number 1, yes food, no food. So during the reset, eat only quality protein of animal origin, vegetables and salad, healthy fats, and a little fruit. Don't eat cereals, legumes, industrialized seed and vegetable oils, sugar and sweeteners, natural and none, and alcohol or dairy, right? Now remember that no means no in any form, quantity, or derivative, right? So grain-like foods, for example, such as quinoa, even though they're not a grain, they're grain-like, so we don't want to consume them during this reset, because we want to challenge the idea that grains and large quantities of carbohydrates are necessary, okay? Number 2, eat breakfast. Have breakfast every morning. Yeah, please do this. Even if you please do this apart from those moments when I suggest that you wait. Yeah, until hunger ensues. Have breakfast every morning. Eat 2 or 3 eggs for breakfast in one form or another. At least 5 times a week. And even better if you add a couple of slices of bacon. That's bacon from the butcher, not from the counter, or half an avocado. The bacon, I'm in Italy, so when I say bacon, I'm talking about pancetta, and that's just basically slices of the belly fat. There's no conservatives, no preservatives, no flavors, no added anything, okay? So if you're getting bacon, just read the ingredients and make sure that it doesn't have weird things added to it. And with regards to eggs, choose the best quality eggs that you can find. The eggs of free-range chickens that have had the opportunity to scratch in the dust and eat insects and worms are the best, obviously. If you can't buy them direct from a farmer, then buy free-range from the supermarket. And just remember that cage-free, I don't know how they say it in English. Here in Italy, it's allevato a terra. I think in English it's called cage-free, but it simply means that the chickens are on the factory floor instead of in a small cage. Okay. Yeah, so so that's also a choice. Organic eggs or eggs that come from chickens raised without antibiotics are also your good choice. But your standard factory eggs from chickens that have just sort of like cramped into little cages are obviously your worst, for both ethical and nutritional reasons. Yeah, so do the best you can with eggs. Number three, tubers. Tubers, white potatoes and sweet potatoes and yam and cassava or manioca. They can be boiled or steamed. Potatoes and after the reset, rice are best when eaten cold. There's this weird sort of chemical change that occurs. Cold potatoes and cold rice are a good source of resistant starch, and resistant starch is really good for gut bacteria. But just yeah, follow this rule. Tubers shouldn't be eaten with the main meal, but only after the main meal if there's still space. Yeah. So fill up on your healthy proteins and your fats and just eat the tubers last, right? Because they pack in a lot of calories into a small space, and they should be avoided for anyone who's if you've got on your goal that you want to be losing weight, then try and avoid them. But yeah, try and follow that rule of eat them last and use them as as a means of absorbing your healthy fats, right? So when we have tubers or potatoes, I boil them, I put them in a bowl on the table, but they're there for us to eat after the meal. Yeah. And then we mash them up and add olive oil or clarified butter or whatever to them, usually extra virgin olive oil. Okay, now coffee and tea. Coffee and black tea can only be consumed until the after lunch coffee, right? And this is because caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 6 hours, which means that 5 to 6 hours after consuming it, you've still got half of the caffeine in your system. And so having caffeine in your system will inhibit your ability to relax in the evening and sleep well. And sleep is a vital component of our health and well-being and of the reset. Number 5, sweets and treats, right? So sweets and bars and energy balls and all of that sort of stuff can be consumed after the second week of the Paleo Reset 31, but there are guidelines. All of the points in the section, a note about paleo sweets and treats in the guide, are valid. So check your guide, check the recipe book as well. Yeah, so there's also a comment about this in the recipe book. Please only use the recipes from the recipe book, Easy and Essential Paleo Recipes for Busy People. And the reason is that many of the recipes for paleo treats that you'll find online contain way too much sugar or sweetener that is appropriate for the reset, and as far as I'm concerned, way too much sweetener for the paleo diet in general. Okay, so please don't overdo it with the paleo sweets and treats. They shouldn't be consumed more than once a day, and less is better. Okay, so we really want to break the habit of the sugar dragon. Alcohol, no alcohol. No alcohol, not even for cooking. Okay, so have a look at the the pyramid there. That's the Primal Health Food Pyramid, and that will give you a good idea as to how we should be structuring our intake. Right, our intake. So lots of vegetables, lots of protein, healthy fats, and then you've got your moderation foods at the top. Yeah, so have a look at that. Okay, number two, move. Do your best to move often throughout the day. Do your best to follow the recommendations in the move section of these daily emails. The primal movement recommendations include moving frequently, a little bit of strength training, easy aerobic exercise, extended aerobic exercise, a lot of play and sprinting. Okay, so do your best to move often throughout the day. I know that when you're sort of like getting into this, your main concern is basically just getting your head around what to eat and how to eat, but do your best to move. And I know, as I've just said, I know in my experience, most people during this first month are basically just, concentrating on the food aspect and sort of getting over the carb flu and into the new rhythms. But yeah, just I want you to get to the end of this month knowing that all of these aspects are important and they all work in a synergistic way, and then you're sort of on your way to integrating them all and incorporating them all into your daily life, okay? So just do your best with all of them. Number 3, sleep. Sleep. Do your best to connect with your circadian rhythms. Go to bed early and wake up early, and prepare for sleep by following the recommendations in the guide. Okay, so just again, go to your guide and have a look at that. And this will all be coming up in future emails. But do your best to get into good sleep hygiene habits. Number 4, connect. Do your best to limit your time on social media. To try and check it just twice a day, for 10 to 15 minutes. You can even put a timer on. I think we all need to do this now. It's so addictive. Disable all the extra sounds on your smartphone, right? Apart from phone calls that might be important, just get rid of all of those beeps and tweaks and all of those little things that interrupt your concentration. Of course, spend quality time, spend quality time with your family and your friends. Actually sit down and talk and switch off the devices so that you actually are communicating, and spend quality time in nature. So important. Absorb adequate sunlight and spend time alone. Yeah, a little bit of time alone every day is priceless. Even if that's just closing the door and sitting down and just concentrating on your breath, doing a little bit of meditation, a little bit of time alone, is for me it's vital. I can't, but I'm introverted, but I think also for extroverted we all need to find that balance. Number 5, be smart. Spend some time reading the Reset daily emails and the guide. So dedicate a bit of time to this every day. Knowledge is power. And the more you understand the why behind the diet and lifestyle recommendations, the more motivated you'll be to follow the program. Take the time to write in your journal and fill out the motivation exercises every day, because this will help you to stay connected to the process. The more connected you can be to the process, the better the results are going to be. And do one thing at a time, right? So avoid doing stupid things like, writing text messages and driving at the same time, right? Be smart in all of these different ways. And if you smoke, quit. So if you haven't quit smoking yet, good time to do that as well. Okay, so the exercise, this is Saturday, day 6, and so the exercise in this section of Eat is to just organize a paleo dinner party or a barbecue for the weekend, so that you just start exploring how you doing this program and adopting this as a way of life doesn't mean that your social life ends. It's actually really easy to integrate, gorgeous, fresh, healthy, nutrient dense foods into your social life. And so you can have a bit of fun planning a paleo party with your friends and family, and have fun trying new recipes as well. And and people are generally amazed when I arrive at someone's house with a salad or something that I've prepared from my recipe book, and it's like, oh my god, this is so good. It is really good to do that. Okay, so that's it for today. Get out there and move. Do some journal writing, a little bit of positive creation there. And okay. Contact me if you need to, and we'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.